Big question from many. Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
We did. It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome.
What's going on, space adventurers? So welcome back to the channel. We're back, and I got some fun stuff for you. So as you guys probably already know, Starfield just released about a week ago for the official release, so it's out to the masses, it's out to all you guys. So if you're new, or maybe you're somebody who's been toying with getting this game, today we're gonna go ahead and take a look into their minimum required specs for PC, and we're gonna build a computer exactly to those specifications to see what kind of performance you can expect, and also will the game run, period. So we're gonna hop right into that right away. We're not gonna waste any time today. We're just gonna get into testing, but we do first have to thank our sponsor real quick.
With VIP-URCDKEY, you can install and activate Windows for only 16 bucks.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's fast, easy, and 100% legit. You can now enter my new promo code for 2023, RAV25, which will now save you 25% on your purchase. So get rid of that Windows activation watermark and get your system activated today. It also works for Windows 11 as well. Check the links in the description.
All right, first off though, I want to start off by saying that I am not here to hate on Starfield, okay? I've actually been playing it myself in my spare time, and I'm really enjoying it. I love Bethesda games, and I know how they are and whatnot, but I still enjoy the game. I know a lot of you out there have divided opinions on it, but I'm here to be as impartial as possible and to just give you guys my raw testing data to figure out what we find inside the game using a PC that only meets those minimum required specs exactly. And what are those minimum required specs? Well, I'm glad you asked. First up, you'll need a 64-bit Windows 10 or 11 system, and just make sure that your system is fully up to date with the latest drivers and everything for the best experience. Next, ensure that you have at least an Intel Core i7-6800K or an AMD Ryzen 5 2600X for the CPU. In our system we're gonna be running today, we have a Ryzen 5 2600 non-X, simply because I have this laying around the office, and it should be extremely close to what you'd expect with the X chip anyway. For RAM, Starfield requires 16 gigabytes of RAM or more, which is pretty standard for any game these days, and we do have 16 gigabytes of Corsair LPX, which should work just fine for this game. Now, the graphics card is the fun part. So for this, you're gonna need a GTX 1070 Ti 8GB or an AMD RX 5700 non-XT 8GB model, which by today's standards are pretty inexpensive cards to find on the used market. And for our testing, I happen to have a used MSI RX 5700 I bought off of eBay laying around, so we can actually make sure that we really properly test this minimum hardware that they want us to use. And hold on, we're not ready for the benchmarks just yet, because storage is very important for this game. Now, this game actually requires an SSD. It's extremely important, so make sure you've got an SSD with plenty of free storage on it as well, because this game is massive and it takes up almost 100 gigs of space. So, and to improve your loading times, I would suggest installing the game on an NVMe SSD, which can be had for very cheap now on Amazon or something like that. But if you do have a SATA SSD, that's okay, it will work. And in fact, that's what we're gonna be using today to kind of test the worst case scenario and not use just the fastest stuff you can get on the market. All right, everybody, so here is our Starfield minimum requirements specs PC. So this is really just a random PC that I bought off somebody off the Facebook Marketplace, and we're doing a little bit of content with it, but it actually worked out perfectly because it has some of, or most of all of the specs that I needed, you know, minus the graphic card and stuff like that. I put that in there. But anyway, we're all set up. Everything's good to go. We got Starfield installed on the computer, on our SSD, and we are ready to jump in and do a couple of tests and see if we can play the game, A, and B, if it's a smooth experience and like what kind of FPS we can expect with just that Ryzen 5 2600 and the AMD RX 5700 non-XT. So let's jump right in and see what we get. First of all, let's go ahead and look at our settings. So as you can see, they're not very high. Looking at 1920 by 1080 right now. We are looking at all low settings right here. FSR 2, let's go ahead and turn that off just to show you what it looks like with everything turned off. Sorry if you can hear a fan in the background. That is the old power supply on this computer just going crazy because, you know, this game is making it work. So let's go ahead and try these settings right here, and let me show you what it looks like just in this one spot right here. So right here, we're looking at low settings, nothing else going on, and we're looking at what? Looking at the sign right here, we're looking at 52, 51 FPS right here. Now, let's take a look at our GPU and CPU. So one thing a lot of people were saying was that this game does not stress your graphics card enough. And I mean, in this instance right here, the 5700 right here it's up towards the upper 90s, and our 2600 is also around 75, 74 right there. Temperatures are looking good. They're just what they should be. And I mean, we're hitting 50 FPS right here. So, you know, for a computer like this, again, the fan is going crazy. But for a computer like this, you're really targeting, with these minimum requirements, you're targeting what they wanted for consoles, which was 30 FPS, right? I mean, it's still, again, I do not disagree with anybody that says that you should be able to get better FPS than this. I agree. I wish we could, but let me go ahead and just with these settings, let me walk back into the city. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna do a couple of the same run just to show you guys. You can see that already, like the detail and everything like that, it's pretty bad. When you get up close to something, it's a little bit better, but just looking at stuff, yeah, like see, like look at the people's face quality and everything. It's very jaggy and stuff is everywhere. Let's actually use this as our main benchmark, because this is a big area right here. So we're looking at what, 48 FPS right here, right? It's stable. We're not stuttering or anything like that. It's actually not too terrible. You can play the game. Now, will this hurt your eyes after a while? Probably. I guarantee you this is going to hurt your eyes after a bit. And once you start to get into some kind of combat and things are really happening on the screen, I can see your FPS and everything definitely taking a little tank and going down a little bit. But again, we're really making both of our components work here, because again, this is the minimum requirements to run this game. And really quick, let me show you this. Let's go ahead and let's show you guys loading times, because this, again, with the SSD, if you guys do not have an NVMe SSD like this system, if we're running just a regular SATA SSD, this is the kind of loading screen you can expect. Here you go. And yeah, you can hear, okay, that actually wasn't that bad. Oh, don't worry about that. Oh my God. So actually, I mean, that wasn't the worst. And as you can see already, our FPS is much better, and actually the interiors seem to look a lot better than outside. We're getting around 75, what is it? So let's just sit right here. 74, 75 FPS in an interior. So like if you go into a cave and stuff like that, it's actually, I mean, that's actually a lot better. Let's go in here where there's a bunch of people. Let's use this bar. All right, see, okay, here we go. This is much better. So let's use this bar because there's actually people on the screen. There's lots of things, like these fans are going around. There's lots of stuff going on. So what are we getting when we look right here? Like 58. So we get an extra 10 FPS inside of an interior, but still, guys, you know, not really what you would want. Not super ideal for playing, but it is playable. So let me go ahead and let's go back to our starting spot, and let's change some settings real quick. So let's go ahead and put FSR 2 on, and render resolution scale, let's do like maybe 80. Let's try 80 and see if that nets us any FPS here. So still low everything with FSR 2 on. Let's see if this helps, and if it looks good at all, or even worse. All right, FSR 2 is on, and I mean, it looked like it gained us a couple FPS there, but not really anything crazy. And I honestly think the game just looks even worse. Yeah, we're dropping below the 48 now. And yeah, absolutely. The game just does not look good at all in an area like this, where like it should. This area, when you do it on a very high-end PC where all the assets are loaded in, everything looks really, really nice. It's a very cool looking little town and everything like that. But obviously you can see right here, because there's so much going on, that we're absolutely just losing it right here. So let's go ahead and see if we can change some settings and make us hit like around that 30 FPS mark, but still make the game not look as terrible. Let's turn FSR off, and let's go to like graphics quality. Let's not do ultra. Let's do like medium. Let's try medium. FSR 2 is on. Okay, so it's going to go with FSR with 50, and then sharpening it set. Let's see what the medium preset looks like. Ooh, okay. All right, it's rendering stuff a little bit better with medium. Okay. You know what? It's like we're getting the same FPS almost. We're not getting very much less FPS here. So let's walk through this. Let's walk through the town real quick. Okay. I mean, things look a little better on medium settings. It's still up on people. You're gonna drop your FPS a little more. It does. So things are they definitely are a bit more detailed. You can definitely see some more detail, probably because that sharpening as well. It probably does some stuff too. It does. I'm telling you what, man. I think the FSR though is making things, like especially faces, look super blurry at a distance. So up close though, they look pretty good. Okay, no more FSR, which is medium settings. Let's see native medium settings. Let's see what that looks like. And we're getting right around 40 FPS, 41. But as you can see, without FSR on, it actually looks so much better. It looks a lot more detailed. So, okay, you can do medium settings, 1080p, and it's playable. It's not like, let's go inside. Let's go into an interior or something. Let's do this. And what I'll do is I may even, let's actually, here you go. Check out this loading screen again, how long this will take. That's not too bad again. Inside in the interior, once again, we're above 60, which is great. So in interiors, it's a lot, you can even see just by us moving around, it's a lot more smooth of a game. So that'll help a lot because, I mean, a lot of the game you are in an interior anyway. So yeah, so you're getting 50, 51. Again, you know, it is doable. I wish, you know, 60 was their margin and their mark they wanted to hit for an achievable FPS on minimum settings. But yeah, it doesn't look like that's what they were wanting. So, all right, let's pull out our gun. Let's start shooting people, and let's see what happens when you start a fight with people. See, we're 36, 40. Yeah, we're getting to 35s. So I think like stuff like this, you're running into like the 35 margin. Let's see, is anybody even gonna fight me? I've never done this in this game, so I don't know if you just start attacking civilians. Well, I mean, look at this. There's a ship that they just kind of left everybody. Look at all that bounty. Okay, back in the settings here. Let's go ahead and just turn these to the high preset right here. And then it looks like it wants FSR on again. Let's see if with the high preset, let's make it like 85 and see if that still lets us like not really, you know, make everything seem super jaggy and weird. There we go. Okay. So high settings, FSR on. This actually doesn't look too bad. Actually, again, it's still playable. It's not like, there's a little bit of input lag with FSR. With upscaling, any kind of upscaler you usually have. Yeah, this right here, not my favorite. Not my favorite right there. Not good at all. But again, the level of detail and everything looks a lot better, especially when you go up to people, like right here. I'm sure your eyes would get used to it. I mean, I'm used to a lot higher of an FPS for every game because I play on a higher end PC, so it hurts my eyes to look at this, like the motion blur and everything. You might just want to turn motion blur off completely, maybe, but it is playable, guys. You stay above 30. It's not dropping below 30, and I mean, it's still you're on a PC, and so it's still better than a console, I think, and what you can probably expect from a console, because out here you're getting that. Let's see. Let's go into an interior. And I mean, now you're getting above 50, and it's so much smoother. We might at a certain point, we might even hit 60 to be, there you go. We just did going up the stairs right there. But once we see all these people, we're gonna drop down again. But either way, it's a lot smoother when you're inside, I guess. So long and short of it, you guys, it works. The game is playable, and I mean, the main thing here is, do we wish we would get more FPS for a lower end system on minimum requirements? Absolutely. I cannot disagree with you at all there. Okay, everybody, so hopefully you enjoyed checking out my testing there, and hopefully that actually gave you some kind of information as to what a system just like this would run like. Maybe if you have something that's very similar, maybe you have the 1070 Ti as the graphics card, or maybe, you know, you have the Intel chip or whatever. Now you got yourself a nice little idea of what this kind of hardware would actually get you in a game like this. Now, in conclusion, like, do I think that this is a great way to play the game? Absolutely not. In my opinion, I would not personally suggest building a PC like this to play the game. Absolutely not. If you already have a PC set up like this and ready to go for it, sure, you can play it as we just saw. I would suggest maybe you upgrade your components to the recommended specs or even higher, and that's something that I do want to test as well, is the recommended tier of specs next, and see if we get a lot of difference, because at 1080p I feel like we should be able to hit some really high numbers with the recommended specs they have. So if you guys want to see that video, definitely leave me a comment below, or also make sure you guys get subscribed to the channel, because we will be doing that video pretty soon and we're gonna see like how much of a difference we actually have, and if we can even drive the PC higher than 1080p and maybe go in somewhere into 1440p, which I think this game looks really good at. That's what I normally play the game at. But anyway, guys, I thought this was fun. Hopefully you guys thought this was a cool video, because Starfield is a great, super cool new game that just came out. I'm really enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are as well. Hopefully you're not stuck on a PC like this, because if you are, I really feel bad for your eyes. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. We'll catch you guys in the next video.